Hello, Marvelous Readers. So I realized that my count was off in another video, so I have to make a part 4 because I skipped ahead to part 5. But that was super easy to do because something else popped up on my FYP. It was actually from something that happened like a month or so ago that was kind of making the circles, but it popped up again. And this is because the author that was the focus of the video on my FYP is not necessarily the first author to have done this. So without any further ado, here we are, part 4, authors behaving badly. So we all know that there should be some sort of wall, even if it's not a thick wall. There's a word for this type of wall. It's kind of in politics. I can't remember the name of it. But it's kind of like a wall between author spaces and reader spaces with regards to reader spaces belonging to readers, especially when we talk about reviews. Okay, so that's like a thing we know, right? Well, evidently, I saw in the FYP there was this author who was leaving reviews. Now, totally valid. Most authors are also readers. I read reviews. However, I have a policy as an author that if I can't leave a 5-star review, I probably am not going to post a review. I'm not, like, I don't feel comfortable. Or if I feel like I want to leave a review, but there's something in the book that's, you know, still a little problematic, but I like the book, I'll leave the 5-star review, but I'll just make a comment about the little thing. Just as like a, you know, like a notice or like a trigger warning or something. But if I don't feel like I can really leave a 5-star review, then I won't leave a review. So that's my personal policy as an author who is also a reader, because I have to be careful in those spaces. Well, evidently, not everyone gets that memo. Not everyone understands, you know, the concepts of how these works. And we had an author who was going into other authors' book pages, like on, you know, Goodreads and the Zon and all that kind of stuff. And they were posting really poor reviews for competitors' books. I don't like to really use the word competitor because I like to think of them as like my colleagues or partners in writing, because if someone likes, like Diana Gabaldon, they're going to like my books. I kind of got a lot of my writing inspiration and how I write and everything from like what Diana Gabaldon does. If you like Joanna Lindsay, if you like Lindsay Sands, if you like Catherine Woodwise, you know, some of the old school bodice rippers, you'll probably like my books. If you like Celeste Barkley, if you like Catherine Levesque, you'll probably like my books. We write a lot of the same kind of themes and, you know, similar sort of you know, adventure and romances. So like those are my comps. Like those are my like people that I'm comparable to. And I want them to be successful, because if they're successful, then they will get lots of readers, and then I can appeal to those readers and say, hey, if you like this person, you'll like me. So the last thing I want to do is go into these reader spaces for these authors and trash these authors. Who does that? Who does it? Evidently, this author did. Evidently, this author does that. Evidently, this author went onto these reviewing sites and was leaving these horrible reviews for authors. And I really will admit, I don't understand what their thought process was on that. Like, there's no logic there that makes sense to me, because that there's so many things kind of going wrong on so many different levels. Like, I would never think, oh, a way to make me and my book look better is to leave bad reviews on these other author books so they don't read those books, they read mine. Like that, to me, there's no reasoning. There's no strong, like, logical reasoning, and that makes zero sense to me. So if you're an author and you're going into reader spaces and you're trashing other authors, no, this is not that place. Like, writing is hard enough as it is, and there's so many like obstacles to overcome that we want to lift all boats. Like, when one of my peers is successful, like, and I'm friends with them, I know that that's going to kind of splash back on me, because then like I'll engage with them a lot on social media because I'm already friends with them. We'll talk a lot. They'll mention my books when they're talking about other books. I can do swaps with them for things. Like, a rising tide lifts all boats. But, you know, like, someone who's just creating upheaval and a storm and chaos can bring a lot of people down, including themselves. So just to keep that in mind, don't go around as an author trashing other authors. So not a good look. So not a good look.